Hello and welcome to Football Night New York. I'm Jeane Coakly alongside Vacchiano and Jonas Schwartz. And guys, the Jets officially signed Joe Flacco to a one-year deal worth $1.5 million this week. Of course, he's brought in to back up Sam Darnold. Jonas, you like the move?
I love the move, and there's no reason not to love this move. Now, I understand this is all health permitting, and he probably won't be ready to go right at the start of the season. But by October, when you probably or have a chance of needing him, he can come in and save a game if Sam Darnold has to go down in a game. He can also be a guy who can buck up Darnold, if you will, and counsel him. It's not competing with Darnold, so it's exactly what you want. But Ralph, I just got to say one thing on this. There's this narrative that Darnold can't get through a season. It's the worst narrative I've ever heard in my life. Year one, he was benched because really he was struggling and he got nicked up, but he would have played through it. Year two, he had mono. That's not like a hamstring issue that doesn't go away. So I think it's a great signing, but, you know, along with it came this narrative about how Darnold can't get through a season. I think it's a totally false narrative.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know why people would even say that about him. It just doesn't jive with the facts. You can't count mono and turn that into somebody being injury prone. That being said, you know, Joe Douglas is doing the right things. Is you have to prepare for the possibility that your quarterback is going to get hurt. And all you have to do is look at last year and what a disaster that was. Now, granted, the Jets had two quarterbacks get hurt, so it was a bit of an extremes or go down. It was a bit of an extreme situation. But they know that they would have been in a lot of trouble without Sam Darnold. Now, health permitting, they've got a guy who has won in the NFL, is experienced. You know, maybe he can't do the things that Sam Darnold can do right now, but he certainly can go in and win a ball game or two until Sam Darnold comes back.
You mean he's not going to get mono this year either? I mean, come on, guys. I don't understand either.
Better not.
Exactly. All right, so they bring in a former Super Bowl MVP in Joe Flacco. Then they bring in veteran running back Frank Gore. You got experience and leadership brought to this locker room. Ralph, how much do they need this?
Oh, they definitely need it. And it's not even, a shot at the players in the locker room. It's just that the more leadership you have, the better. And maybe just as importantly, you have two guys coming in who know Adam Gase, have experience with him. Every coach needs their guys, whether it's just to get somebody in the room who can, go through the intricacies of the offensive system or talk to other players about, this is the coach's style. Sometimes it's just knowing what the coach wants out of the players. They can go in and not necessarily be an enforcer, but be a guy who kind of pushes the strategy and the culture that the coach wants. All of that is good, and you're talking about two guys who are generally thought of as good guys, well-respected guys. The more voices you have like that in a team, the better off your team is going to be.
It's a good point, Ralph, because, listen, Gase basically had one guy last year in Demaryius Thomas. Other than that, he did not have a lot of his guys, and you saw some dissension in that locker room from people, Quincy Enunwa, Kelechi Osemele, guys like that towards Adam Gase. Gase got the best press he's gotten in the last year from Frank Gore, who came in and said, I'm here because I work well with Adam Gase. And listen, there is some criticism of Gase that is justified, as it is with any coach. But a lot is not justified, quite frankly, where it goes way too far. And I think Frank Gore sort of reminded people there are a lot of people in the NFL who value Adam Gase, and Gase needed that locker room, especially in a year where it's possible Jamal Adams might not be in the best mood in September when the season starts.
Yeah, you definitely can't go wrong with bringing in the veterans like Joe Flacco and Frank Gore. All right, guys, let's move from the old guys to the new guys. Time now for What Are the Odds? And Denzel Mims is plus 6,500 to an NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, which means if you guys place $100, you're going to win $6,500 if Mims wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. With that being said, Jonas, do you see Mims and let's throw in Mekhi, Becton to make an impact early for this team?
Oh, I think both will make an impact. I think Becton more so because of being the first rounder. He's playing left tackle. He's sort of an island in passing situations, protecting Sam Darnold. And I think Mims will have an impact, but I think his impact would have been greater right off the bat if this was a normal off season where he could go to mini camps, and if it's a normal training camp scenario, which I'm not sure it will be. Look, Ralph, I think some of it was overblown. The idea that he ran a limited route tree at Baylor, but I know it wasn't as sophisticated as what Adam Gase is running. So as far as Mims' ability to have a big impact early, I'd feel better about it if he was in camp and having a more normal offseason as opposed to what we're seeing now.
Yeah, I agree. You know, there's always going to be a learning curve for rookies, and he's not going to have that chance to come out of the gate fast because of exactly what you said with the offseason. Learning an offense virtually is not nearly going to be the same as it would have been had he had this time on the field. Won't have developed that chemistry necessarily. So you could see him getting off to somewhat of a slow start, but really, a lot of the offensive rookies are going to be in the same boat. To me, that Offensive Rookie of the Year award is going to be about opportunities, and this is Denzel Mims' greatest advantage. He is going to get opportunities. The Jets are going to count on him. They only have Jamison Crowder and Brashad Perryman. They have high hopes that Denzel Mims will become their true number one, and if he gets thrown to a lot, if Darnold can trust him early, will have at least a chance to put up some big numbers this year.
All right, well, let's talk about that first-round pick in Mekhi Becton because I caught up with him in this week's Jetting to Know You. Mekhi, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, first thing that comes to your mind.
All right.
What is your favorite quarantine activity?
Playing the game. That's all I've been doing. Playing the game and watching YouTube. So 2K, Madden, anything I feel like playing.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, if you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what meal is that going to be?
Steak with potatoes and sauteed spinach.
Ooh, that sounds good. All right, if you're a baseball player, what's your walk-up song?
It's probably gonna be Something to Prove by Lil Baby.
I like that. Okay. Now I know Shaq is your big basketball idol of yours. You guys are going one-on-one. Who's winning in a basketball game?
What we going to?
Going to 5.
Ooh, 5. All right. If I get ball first, I can win. And if we play and make it take it, I can win.
All right. Worst pronunciation of your name you've ever heard?
It's a long list. I got Malachi, Mekhi, Micah. Those are the ones.
That's pretty good, yeah. All right, and the final question. If you could change places with one person for one day, it could be fictional or non-fictional, who are you changing places with? One day.
It'd probably be Shaq. Either Shaq or Thanos.
2 big guys. I like that. All right, you're awesome, Mekhi. Thank you so much. Or should I call you Mickey or something?
Thank you.
All right, guys, I can relate to Mickey or Mekhi because people call me Jeannie all the time. Jonas, Ralph, you guys ever get messed up?
No, please. I mean, Jonah, Noah, anything biblical. These Jonas brothers have ruined my life. I feel like the Michael Bolton guy from Office Space. It's a disaster. I feel for him, and I can sympathize with both of you.
Ralph,
Mine's just a nice, simple name. I get made fun of, but it's not hard to. It's not easy to screw it up.
All right, for Ralph and Jonah and Jeane, I'm Janae Coakly, Ralph and
Noah.
Jonah.
Noah signing out.
Noah, sorry, Noah to sign out. Hey, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe.